came up. He had never been on a set before, so they invited him up, and I was sitting there talking to him one night, and I said, you know, strangely enough, I did a TV series for Warner Brothers back in the 80s. You know, now that the DVDs are out and every other show of its generation is out on DVD, why is Scarecrow and Mrs. King not out? And he went, it's not? Okay, let's move on. And that was it. I never did find out, but it is. But Kate called me, and it was like 25 years had never happened. It's like I just...
And that's how it is a lot of times when you work with somebody.
Yeah,
it's
it was wonderful. And we giggled and laughed like we were that much younger, and how we used to do on the set. And she had this kind of scheme. She was going, maybe we ought to try to do it again. And I'm going, oh no. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, all of these, you know, reunion movies from Heart to Heart to whomever.
Gilligan's Island.
Yes, some of them were iffy, success-wise. And I kept thinking of that, and then she was going on about a scenario, and you know, I said, you're the one that knows Les Moonves. I can't get in his office, but maybe you can, and he's the head of CBS, because we'd have to go to CBS. But I don't know, you look at the face of television now, it's a different kind of programming. It's, unfortunately, I think it's a period piece now, you know?
But I think
it was a great show to work on.
There's enough fans that would you know, clamor for that. I mean,
well, if you did it, and you also had a young, you know, we went into these crazy scenarios, how, you know, Lee and Amanda had been married all these years. Lee, of course, the Cold War ended. He probably took over that part of the agency for a while, but now that got downsized, and now we're in another thing, and he's sitting around doing nothing, sitting in a bar, you know, and just wasting away. And and suddenly some of our old nemesis comes back, and we had quite a few of them, and somehow seeks revenge or something. Anyway, we have she had 2 grown sons by now, and that we had 2 kids. And you could have sort of that same kind of wacky, only something we could age more gracefully, and have our kids going, always rolling their eyes, oh my God, they're at it again. We got to go get Mom and Dad out of this trouble, you know. And we'd find our way, and we could, you know, be the AARP version. And I think there's an audience for that, where, you know, trying to use the old school way versus the kids running around with.
Were you this funny 28 years ago?
I was a very serious actor.
I know.
I don't care anymore. No, but you know what?
It took. I mean, on you know, because I think there's been a big change in the producers in the studios. You know, they're listening to the fans. It's a younger crowd, but also I think it's more interactive. I think they're becoming very much aware of what the feelings and the needs are of folks.
Well, and you're seeing that with the public shunning the Jay Leno show and actually wanting scripted drama at 9 p.m. as opposed to
you realize
5
all
more
the people
hours.
that didn't work. That's why NBC is in the toilet.
Yeah,
because they made a real bonehead maneuver there. And you know, it was a 10 o'clock hour. That would have been good adult programming, dramas, things that you know.
Southland's a perfect example of that. A show that had great critical success, great fan success, and then just got completely shut out of the bubble. TNT picks it up, and they're doing great with the ratings.
Well, cable has always been kicking the old networks' butts. I mean, you know,
well, everything's
HBO gets all the
changed
Emmys.
now.
You know.
Yeah. Character and. Well, let's just put it this way. The first time I met Bill, I was after I was supposed to do the high dive in Caddyshack. I not only can't dive, I can't swim, I'm legally blind, and I had to climb that board blind. And walk to the edge and take the spring and jump so they could cut to the real diver. And one of the producers, actually a good guy, Doug Kenny, who didn't make it long after Caddyshack, was really tearing me up at dinner that night, going, you didn't do the dive, and Doug and I went ahead. He's a great guy, and he was just, you know, saying, why couldn't you do the dive? And at that moment, at the very end of the table of 20 people, somebody said, that's Bill Murray, and he sat down, and Doug was pretty loud about it. We got along great. I went back to my room. I felt pretty bad, and you know, I was trying to go to sleep, you know, after this whole day, and there's a knock at my door. It's Bill Murray. We hadn't said 2 words to each other. He said, do you want to get out of here? I said, yeah. I woke up on the next morning on a nude beach in Jupiter Beach, Florida.
I didn't have anything like that.
So that's where the book is going. But I'm treating it with love and care, like the film Caddyshack should be concerned. I mean, I'm addressing certain issues, but it was a film that will never be done again. First of all, the insurance companies wouldn't allow it. we did blow up the golf course. I've got a photo, a 3-story fireball, because they mined a golf course with gasoline. I got pictures of the gasoline truck. They mined it with gasoline, blew it up, painted it green, and we blew it up again the next day. Now, I worked with these guys for a month. When I heard they were blowing up a part of the golf course, I said, "The hell with you guys! I'm going." Because I heard it. But just wonderful human being, a terrific character, and really a hardworking guy. And I can't say enough about him. He's a really good human being.
Can you say anything about Ted?
Ted Knight, wonderful guy. When he first met me, very serious actor like Bruce was when I met him. Ted Knight was in that movie. Where were you? Have you ever watched any of my work? Ted Knight played my uncle.
Yeah, you don't want me to answer that.
True. Ted Knight.
I've seen your work.
So not going there. So not going there. And Ted Knight, when he first met me, was like my Polish uncle. He found I was also Polish. He put his arm around me. "Well, Cindy, in that broadcaster's voice, this is how it's going to be on this movie." Well, poor Ted, who was used to playing the funny guy, ended up playing straight man to Rodney Dangerfield. Again, you don't mess with kids and animals. You should spend an afternoon with Rodney Dangerfield. He was like a juggernaut, out of control. Would show up on the set and luckily, these guys would just follow him with camera. And thank God they did, because but Rodney exactly got no respect. He was saying whatever the heck popped into his head, running around bug-eyed. And Ted's like looking at him like, "Are you kidding?" And he's trying to do the scene. Ted was literally very angry with all of us by the end of the film. There wasn't a whole lot of acting going on. We had evolved into versions of our characters.
Well, that's an interesting thing, because you've got 3 really great